astrological forecast for December 2025 for representatives of the sign of Aries. December 2025 for you is a time of struggle with ideals and your own perfectionism. Many astrological events of this month will affect your ninth astro field, and this is a time that focuses your attention on the following themes. The first theme is questions of trips, questions of cooperation with people who are far away, questions of buying something from afar, that is, questions of delivery of something. Also, these are questions of various kinds of bureaucratic and legal moments. That is, you can process some documents, obtain permits, or visit state institutions. Also, this is a time that focuses your attention on your relationships with friends and relatives of your partner in your personal life or your adult child. The second direction of December for you is ideological questions. This is a time of searching for your own mistakes, flaws, imperfections in your own actions or decisions. And you will understand that often, in order to get better results, you don't need to become better. You need to better assess yourself and more effectively use your resources and opportunities. That is, you will understand that your own perfectionism often harms you. And in fact, you have everything you need to build your life in the best way. At the level of practical tasks, December will bring you a lot of work, both in the sphere of your professional activity and at the level of practical everyday routine tasks. And here you may have a feeling of overload, a very intense pace. However, by the end of the month, you will see that you have achieved excellent results. This is a month of productive and fruitful work. And the main thing here is to praise yourself for your achievements and not to look for any possible flaws, not to think that, yes, this is a good result, but I could have done better. December ends with a magical astrological event that greatly enhances the influence of our good words, intentions, and wishes. Therefore, at the end of the month, especially on December 31, you should not skimp on good wishes both for yourself and for the people close to you. In general, December 2025 for you is a time of concrete actions, practical steps, and just as obvious results. Nevertheless, the breath of Neptune, which your sign already feels, is such that it can give a feeling of blurriness, confusion, a feeling of unclear meanings, ideals, and an unclear picture of the future. This is normal. Let's talk in detail about the most important astrological events of the month and their influence on your sign step by step. On December 4, a full moon occurs in the sign of Gemini in your third house of the horoscope. The full moon is results, completion, and the third house is the house of our informational contact with other people and the outside world. And this full moon closes some theme or road that you walked, a theme that you thought a lot about. That is, this is a time when you can complete the task you were engaged in from time to time, and there will no longer be a need to think about it or discuss this theme. This is a period when some small repair of household appliances, car repair, or putting in order issues concerning your documents may be completed. That is, this is a time that closes a certain theme for you or a road that is no longer relevant for you. This is a time when you can receive the parcel you are expecting, or a money transfer, that is, the information or the item you are expecting. This is a time when an important conversation, an important meeting may take place, or you may receive the letter you are waiting for. December 5 is a very interesting day. On this day, the sun will be at the nodes, that is, intense aspects relative to the karmic lunar nodes. And whatever the important theme for you on this day concerns, here you need to make a decision independently. And the main criterion for the correctness of your decision will be the feeling that I am acting fairly. In any case, fair precisely from your point of view. That is, when you are convinced with your feelings, emotions, that you are acting correctly, acting fairly both towards yourself and towards other people. December 6 and 7 are very favorable days. On these days, the planet Mercury will be in an aspect of luck relative to the planet Jupiter and Saturn, which will affect your 4th, 8th, and 12th astro fields. These are days when an important financial question for you or a question that concerns your place of residence or some family theme can be resolved in the best way. Here an important meeting or purchase may take place. And in general, these days will give a feeling of relief that some issue has been resolved, that you have achieved what you wanted. On December 9, the planet Mars, the source of strength, energy, and actions, and the ruler of your sign, will be in a tense aspect, in a square relative to the planet Saturn, which will affect your 9th and 12th astro fields. This is a day when it is worth, figuratively speaking, to push harder, to show your will, determination, and to achieve success in the issue that may have originated back at the beginning or middle of April 2024. This may be your internal decision, or it may be a concrete action or event. This is a day when you will understand that it is precisely now that you can overcome the last obstacle or change tactics in a cardinal way. Again, regarding the issue that originated back in April 2024. On December 11, the planet Venus will be in tense aspects relative to the karmic lunar nodes. This is a very interesting day, and by its fullness of events and moods, one can judge how correct your choices are. That is, if favorable events, meetings, and generally such an elevated, optimistic mood occur on this day, it means you are on the right path. But the negative events that may take place throughout this day will be very clear hints that you are doing something wrong, that you can correct and adjust. Therefore, by the fullness of this day with mood, emotions, or events, you can draw important conclusions for yourself. On December 12, the planet Mercury transitions into the space of the sign Sagittarius, into your 9th house of the horoscope. And this will give a feeling that we are taking up the task with new strength, with new enthusiasm. Moreover, we will take up such tasks in this period where we do not yet have enough experience and knowledge. That is, we will move forward, even despite the understanding that we do not yet have enough resources, knowledge, or concrete opportunities to engage in this. That is, this is a time of enthusiasm, when we will take up the task with determination. On December 14, the planet Mars will be in a tense aspect relative to the planet Neptune, which will affect your 9th and 12th astro fields. This is a time of secret games and, so to speak, dubious tools for achieving your goals. This is a time of intrigues and a time when external events can have a strong influence on your internal state. That is, figuratively speaking, some even insignificant events or words of other people, the mood of another person, can, so to speak, muddy the waters in your inner world. On December 15, the planet Mars, the source of strength, energy, and actions, and the ruler of your sign concurrently. The planet Mars transitions into the space of the sign Capricorn, into your 10th astro field. This is a strong transit for your sign. It shows that by acting according to the rules, according to existing schemes, in accordance with all directives, laws, that is, acting within the framework of the system, you will be able to achieve and attain a lot. This is also a time when people who are older than you, who for you are personified by the sign of Capricorn, can help you. That is, these are people who are your superiors, your managers, representatives of state bodies, controlling authorities. These are your parents. These are also people who are authoritative for you. They can help you. That is, if you turn for help to those who are older than you, then they will certainly provide you with their assistance. This is an ambitious period for you, when you will be able to put many things in order. It will be important for you to understand that you are acting for the good of all. That is, for the sake of the system itself, within the framework of the rules that exist in it. In the negative, such a transit can give a feeling that they are finding fault with you, that they are setting requirements, a bar much higher for you than for other people. That is, now initiative is not important for you, but it is important to show respect for the rules within which you, so to speak, play. The period from December 17 to 21 is a time when the Sun will be in a tense aspect relative to the planets Saturn and Neptune. This is a time of the falling square of the cycle between the Sun, Saturn, and Neptune. This is a time of harsh results and obvious outcomes that may not always please us. But this is a time of, so to speak, truth, open truth on the internal plane. This is a time that can bring such a collision between confidence in oneself and in one's own rightness, and at the same time doubts in one's own strength and possibilities for achieving success. Therefore, these are days when it is better to observe what is happening, but not to take any active actions yet. Especially since the Sun is now preparing for its birth, which will occur on December 21 at 15:30 Greenwich Mean Time. Accordingly, the time from December 17 to 21 is a time of freezing, when it is better to take a pause, better not to take any active steps. And at the same time, this is a period when you should not deny the obvious, when you should not close your eyes to the truth. December 21 is the day of the birth of the new sun. At 15:30 Greenwich Mean Time, the moment of the winter solstice occurs. And on this day, winter begins from an astronomical point of view in the northern hemisphere. This is a very important day, the day of victory, of light over darkness. And on this evening, it is very favorable to light a candle or a lantern in your home. You need to think about your plans for the year ahead. But about plans not as dreams or fantasies, but about those plans of yours where you really intend to produce concrete actions and concrete steps. On this day, the energy is born that will allow you throughout 2026 to embody your plans in reality. On December 20, the black moon Lilith, the projection of the demon tempter in our horoscope, changes signs. And until September 14, 2026, it will be in your 9th astro field. This time has both its pluses and minuses. In the negative, we here can take on some tasks without understanding, without finding out all the nuances. We can rush excessively and experience excessively strong enthusiasm. In more detail about the influence of this long transit of the black moon, I will make a separate additional video about this. On December 24, the planet Venus, the source of joy and earthly blessings, transitions into your 10th house of the horoscope. This is a favorable transit for you, which will bring you bonuses, gifts, some signs of attention. This is a time that will give the opportunity, by acting according to the rules, to achieve very good results. Also, this is a time when you should not skimp on gifts, congratulations, on warm words, on some signs of attention towards people you value. This is a time when you can improve relationships, even with those people with whom it is sometimes difficult for you. On December 30, the planet Mercury will be in a tense aspect relative to the planet Saturn. This is a day when you may be required to do something you do not want to do, and you may be forced to engage in some task simply because it is necessary. It is expected of you, and not because you want it. Nevertheless, for important and responsible matters, this day is good. That is, this is a day when you can manage to finish some important task before the beginning of the new year, to put a point in something. On December 31, the planet Mars will be in favorable aspects relative to the karmic lunar nodes. This is such a magical aspect. Of course, on the eve of the new year, we usually try to share kind words, wishes, talk about good things. But this aspect, it tenfold enhances the power of our good intentions, precisely embodied in words or in concrete actions. Therefore, do not skimp on words. Wish both yourself and the people close to you love, well-being, and of course, health. And may your good intentions certainly come true. This, from the point of view of astrology, will be December 2025. I wish you a wonderful and successful month, dear Aries.